Good evening, everybody. It's 6:30. I don't have a gavel to pound. I guess I could pretend, but I'm going to call the meeting to order. And before I start, I'll change the order up and say we're having this virtual meeting is authorized by Virginia Code Section 2.2-37082A3 due to the restrictions on public gatherings issued by the state and federal government. So with that, we're going to have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Ms. Garza.
Yes. Chairman Williams. Chairman Williams. Chairman Williams, can you hear me?
Yeah, I said here.
I'm sorry. Vice Chairwoman Kiefer. Here. Mr. DeMarian.
Here.
Mr. Albrecht.
Here.
Mrs. Seberg.
Here.
Williams. Mrs. Williams. Mrs. Williams.
Yes. Sorry.
That's okay.
My thing was down. Sorry.
Ms. Stevens.
Here.
Ms. Osorio Flores.
Here.
Mr. Westcott.
Here.
Thank you very much, Ms. Garza.
You're welcome.
Next item on the agenda is a consent agenda. May I have a motion, please?
Chair, I move that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the consent agenda as modified.
Yes.
Modified.
I don't think it was modified. Ms. Garza, was it modified? Okay.
As presented.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Seberg. Motion by Mrs. Seberg and second by Mrs. Kiefer that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the consent agenda. All in favor, and before I do all in favor, we need to do a roll call since it's a virtual video meeting. So can you do a roll call, please, for the vote, Mrs. Garza?
Yes. Chairman Williams.
Yes. Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Kiefer.
Aye.
Mr. DeMaria.
Aye.
Rick.
Aye.
Mrs. Seberg.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Stevens. Aye.
Thank you very much. Motion carries 7-0. Next on the agenda is a discussion agenda. New business, COVID-19 update on MCPS, and I assume that's Dr. Newman.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, Chairman Williams, before I get into the COVID-19 update, I'm sure you guys saw in your consent agenda under the gifts from the Manassas Museum, they gave us a Steinway Model M grand piano. And because of that, we will be able to take the piano at Osborne and shift that over to Met. So we want to give them a big thank you. We want to thank everyone who gave a gift that was on the list, but I wanted to highlight that before I got started. We had a very successful week 1 of distance learning. We want to thank everyone for being patient with us and for giving us our constructive feedback. And we will take that and make the necessary changes that we need to. But overall, it was very successful. 2 emails for things that we can change, and we will address those individuals. I think some of it may not be on the school side. We'll work with them on that. We had a second and final device distribution last week. We gave out an additional 600 devices to individuals that were in need. Our meal distribution is also going well. We're seeing a rise in the number of individuals actually coming on site to get meals. So you'll see that the highest 2 weeks that we've had are the last 2 weeks, as far as people coming to one of the 3 sites. Now that we are comfortable with where we are with the device, with the online learning for this year, we are now moving our focus to next year, and keeping our fingers crossed that we will be able to start on time. But if not, we're going to work on Plan B in case there's a delay in the opening of schools. So that's where our focus will be for the rest of this year, trying to get started for the next school year. I want to thank everyone in the MCPS family for their hard work and dedication that they have shown throughout this unprecedented time. And I also want to give an early Happy Teacher Appreciation Week, which is next week. But we don't have a meeting, so I wanted to say that now. I know they're not here to be spoiled by their principal and the staff, but we just want them to know that we love them and they're the best of the best in this Commonwealth, and we wouldn't be the division that we are without them. And finally, I want to wish Mr. Hawkins a very happy 29th birthday. So happy birthday, Mr. Hawkins. And that is my update, Chairman Williams.
Thank you very much for the update, and I wish Mr. Hawkins a happy birthday as well. Hopefully he's doing well and getting around well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for all you did for us. We appreciate you. We have, man, this is going too quick. I feel like Mr. DeMaria, I don't see you guys enough, and now it's, almost all over. But we have one more item on the agenda. It's the comment section, and we are graced with our 2 great student representatives. So I'll start with them. Ms. Osorio Flores, do you have any comments?
No, not right now. I'm just like a little bit confused with the grading right now, but I think that's the thing that I have to email my teachers with, because they're giving us reviews and different things. Yeah, that's it. I really don't have anything. And then for next year, oh wait, I do. Sorry. For next year, then like Dr. Newman said, you guys are still seeing if we're gonna be able to like go back or not. For sure. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep. And one thing, I've had lots of questions about that recently. The governor is the overarching official who's the head of the state, and he will make the ultimate call about whether public schools stay open or not. And then once we finally end up going back, I'm sure there will be different restrictions on how that happens. But we're just waiting to see what they do. So we can't, I would decide as Manassas City Schools, we're going to go back and do this if the governor says no. But we just don't know. So we're all hoping and praying that we can, but we'll just play it by ear.
Okay, thank you.
But Nathan, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Westcott.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Wait, about that, how Dr. Newman was saying that we would, if we go back at the start, would the online schooling still start on time, or would if we couldn't go back at the start of the year, would the start of school be pushed back? Or would online schooling start in August again?
Dr. Newman, you want to jump in there? Or?
Yes, we would start on time with some form of virtual learning if we cannot get you guys in the physical building.
Okay. And the online schooling was going pretty well. It was nice to see your teachers with the office hours or whatever they call it. And Tanya, about the grading, it seems like the assignments, like they'll bump your M3 grade, is what my teachers were saying, but like it's like only M3. But it seems like you can make up the M3 assignments that you've already had, and the new assignments that they're posting will be added to M3 to help bump up that grade.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Collaboration, I love it.
Thanks.
Any other comments, Mr. Westcott?
No, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for being here. And I thank you both for being so diligent to sign on, because you didn't have to sign on at all, but I appreciate it. So thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Now on to school board members' comments. I'll start with Mrs. Stevens.
I just want to be short and sweet and thank everyone for all the hard work they're doing to make distance learning a success. I know how challenging it can be, and I know that our teachers and our administrators are putting in a lot of long hours to make sure it's a success and to make sure our students are successful. So I really want to give a big shout out to them, and happy early Teacher Appreciation Week.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Stevens. Appreciate that. And as a teacher, we appreciate you as well. Thank you. Mrs. Williams.
I want to thank all the teachers and staff for everything that that they've been doing. They've been working so hard and diligent, and we all feel it on this end, on the parents' end. And I think Mr. Quinn's right about the grading. That's the way I understand it as well. So I think that's correct, but definitely finding every individual teacher has a little spin to it, which is perfectly fine, but definitely reach out to your teachers. I also would like to speak to the public hearing that happened last night. I wasn't there physically, but I was watching it. And I don't know how many people are aware that the city, percentage-wise, our budget is not anywhere near where it has been for many years. And then they want to decrease that even more. And at least that's what the talk has been. I realize city council will go and deliberate and then decide exactly what they will probably do. But I just have so many concerns about the schools, but I also have, when I say that, I mean budgetary wise. I just urge the people to continue to reach out to their councilmen. What we have no idea, we can't foresee exactly what's going to happen next year. And my concern is if things go back to normal, and my concern is that this may even cost even more this year, meaning next year. So I really hope our city can really get behind the public school system and get us what we absolutely need in these trying times. So I just encourage everybody to reach out to council and express those same thoughts to them. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Williams. Next, Ms. Seberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just real quick, I wanted to say that I was on a call this morning with some community resource people, mostly mental health professionals and social workers this morning. And they do a check-in update of all the things that are, resources that are available to people out in the community, to people that are in need. And someone got on and said, oh, Manassas City Public Schools has the most updated list. And I just wanted to point out to all of you and anybody else that's on the call that if you know of a family that's in need for clothing or shelter or food, on our school websites, on all of them, there is a COVID-19 button, usually on the face page with a like a red cross on it. And you can click on that, and under community resources are lots of different resources that are available to the people in need in our community.
Thank you, Ms. Seberg. I appreciate that. Very good, good points. Mr. DeMaria.
Thank you, sir. Tanya and Quinn, Osborne, your conversation, the way you went back and forth and your questions, wonderful having you a part of this board and a part of our system. And thank you very much for everything you two have been doing. there's been other systems that have had troubles. Understandable in my eyes. This is not easy, trying to change midstream the way they're doing things. And some people had some troubles. Luckily, ours were minimal. But if we did have major problems, I love the fact that I can believe that it would have been a systems problem, not an individual problem. It seems to me other systems have been blaming individuals in their system. And I'm so happy to be part of this family to where if we had problems, they would be our problems. They wouldn't be IT problems. They wouldn't be academic problems. They wouldn't be maintenance problems. They'd be this board's, this superintendent's, and this family's problem. I'm very that's the way we handle things, and don't blame others. That we take responsibility for everything, and how the superintendent's cabinet and everybody below that works together. You don't have, they all have their individual strength and their individual responsibilities, but everybody works together, and it's nice to be a part of this. Talked to some people at Osborne and obviously at Round and Mayfield, but at Osborne, and talking about the staff and the kids knocking it out of the park. I'm concerned about next year. I'm very worried that we will not be in school. And I've been assured by teachers and administrators that we're on a roll here. And the terminology used was, we're knocking it out of the park. And so I'm just so pleased that Osborne and all of our other schools are doing such a great job, and so thankful to all of them. We had a meeting on Thursday. I see that it's been canceled because of not having state numbers yet. Dr. Newman, can you explain exactly what's going on with that?
Yes, when the governor made his amendments to the budget, then it was sent to the General Assembly to approve. The calculation tool that we get from the state was not updated. We thought we would have it Friday, which would give our finance department some time to dig into the numbers before we had the meeting on Thursday. We had a follow-up meeting with Dr. Lane, and we're not expecting the calculation tool to be updated until this Friday. So we can get it this Friday. We'll dive into the numbers and be ready for the meeting next Thursday. So that's why we moved it to next Thursday.
Thank you, sir. And the last thing I've got to say is I'm happy to see your all faces, but I miss you very much. I'm very proud to be a part of this board, and sometimes getting home, change, get showered, go to a school board meeting is a pain in the butt. You don't know what you're missing until you miss it. So I miss you all, and thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marietta. We miss you too, and that's a great question. So folks know why we aren't meeting on Thursday. So thank you for that as well. Next, Mr. Albrecht.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Mary is just trying to see if he could get me to cry or something, getting all emotional. Some people have said some great stuff with the budget and the reason we would have a special meeting next week. But I also want to relate it to something Mr. DeMaria said. And I'll say the name. Fairfax got a lot of press. Unfortunately, we're hitting it out of the park, using Mr. DeMaria's word, and we're getting none. And I think this does relate as we talk locally with, Fairfax is a better funded system than we are. We always talk about that. Everybody points to that. But as we look at what our local revenue is, that's why we need, to Mrs. Williams's point, to keep it where it's at right now, to not go any lower, because we actually are delivering great service, great quality, doing fantastic things with what we have. And to take away, and we've said this before amongst ourselves, we are getting to the point of actually cutting bone. I do have one question on the technology, because the superintendent said we handed out another 600 computers. That's a lot. And I get it, right? Because we asked the question, who has a computer at home, who has the ability to use it. A family has one, and all of a sudden, mom or dad or both are trying to use that computer also to do work, and their child's not going to get to use it. So I'm not doubting the need or anything at all. My questions really are, I'm assuming we're following our same standards and practices relative to all the distribution. Probably a little more wear and tear on these devices than we're used to. And what position is that going to put us in come fall for end of the summer for the start of school?
Mr. Barrett, do you want to address the technology piece?
Sure. So we've given out roughly 1,700 devices between the two distributions. We purposely selected our oldest models of the fleet, knowing that their value was a lot lower than some of our newer stuff, and the price points for replacement parts are lower as well. We're expecting 25 to 30% to come back just based on previous history damage of some sort. Hopefully the majority of those can be repaired, but we're working with Mr. Hawkins on getting our annual refresh order in sooner than later, likely this fiscal year, so that we can have those in the summer to help offset any those casualties that we've got damage beyond repair. I don't think we're going to be too bad off unless there's a total meltdown or something of what went out.
Perfect, thanks. I just want to make sure you said it all. So we're tying it into this year's technology refresh and this year's purchase, so that the future's ready to go. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Albrecht, and thank you, Mr. Barrett. Appreciate that. And next, Mrs. Keeper.
Thank you, and good evening, everybody. Mr. Hawkins, happy birthday. I hope you're going to have a big celebration after this call. I also wanted to acknowledge, I just happen to know Councilwoman Sebeski is on the line listening in. We can't see her name. We just happened to be talking earlier, so I knew she was on. So Pam, thank you for being here. And I just too wanted to express continued gratitude. It's just going by my kids' rooms and listening to them on their, Zoom calls with their teachers and getting the emails about what's going on. This is no small feat for anybody to take on, especially in an unexpected way. And so, yes, there'll be glitches, and yes, there's going to be a little bumps like there is anything in life. But the way that, everything everybody has said about the way that this system and this team and just everybody has come around is just so impressive. And so I just want to say our teachers and our staff and principal, everybody, including everybody on this call, have always gone above and beyond for this district. This is way above and beyond. And I just want to express my deepest gratitude to everybody for, making this possible, for thinking so far ahead. It's been nothing short of impressive, and I'm so very proud to be a part of this division. And so happy Teacher Appreciation Week, but I say it's going to be happy teacher, happy staff, happy every person in this division, weeks, months, and year for what we still have in store. So everybody stay safe, continue to support your local businesses, try to eat out once a week if you can, just to get some money into our economy here. Thank you all, and it's good to see you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Kiefer. And, I'll just end up with two things. One, I work in a lot of different spheres. I think I've been on the phone literally since 8 o'clock this morning with different conference calls. And a lot of folks are suffering, whether it's folks in the hospital, which may be counterintuitive if you think about it, but elective surgeries have been canceled, which really is where most hospitals make most of their money. So because of that, they're not getting the revenue they need. And a lot of folks who work there we can't be paid. So there are furloughs being made, layoffs all over the country of medical personnel, even dentists, lots of different folks who you wouldn't think would be suffering are suffering. And that's not to mention all the other folks who work in the gig economy or can't work at home. I think only 35% of us, roughly, is what I heard or read, I should say, is the amount of folks that can work at home. So that means 65% of folks can't. So either they're putting themselves on the line to help us, whether it's at the grocery store or distributing, sodas or food or toilet paper, what have you, or work in the medical profession. There are folks out there every day working on our behalf. So I really hope and pray those folks stay healthy. I thank them for their service. I thank our teachers and our staff for their service. For the food service folks who give out food, I drove by Osborne last week and saw long lines. So I'm really grateful that we're able to help folks in that fashion. And just one thing that Ms. Keeper said really resonated is that there are folks on our local restaurants. If you can, go to them and you can afford to patronize them, please do that because they really need our help. This is the time we need to just kind of really pitch in and help each other. And I'm sure we'll do it, and it's tough, but we can make it through. And I have a quote that I sent to my staff at work, one of my other jobs, a couple weeks ago, which I thought was cool. And I actually shared with Dr. Newman also, so I'll just, mention it to you all because I thought it was kind of appropriate for the time. It's not too long, so I won't be too long, and I'll let you all go. The quote is by L.R. Nost, who's an author, and it goes like this. It says, "Life is amazing, and then it's awful, and then it's amazing again. And then between the amazing and awful, it's ordinary and mundane and routine. Breathe in the amazing, hold on through the awful, and relax and exhale during the ordinary." That's just living, heartbreaking, soul healing, amazing, awful, ordinary life. And it's breathtakingly beautiful. And I thought that was like quite a good synopsis, not only life, but what we're going through now. Right now, it's kind of an awful part in certain ways. But what's beautiful is how we kind of get in there and help each other, what's going on with our teachers, our students, our staff, and our food service people. So hopefully we can band together and get through this and get back to the mundane. But thank you all for your time, for your dedication. I appreciate it. It's good seeing your faces. And to close out, to adjourn, we're going to have a call for adjournment and then do a roll call vote. So may I have a motion, please?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Albrecht, second by Mr. DeMaria to adjourn. And Ms. Garza, if you don't mind, could you do a roll call vote, please, on that motion?
Chairman Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Kiefer,
Aye.
Mr. DeMaria,
Aye.
Mr. Albrecht,
Aye.
Mrs. Seberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Williams, Mrs. Williams,
Aye.
Mrs. Stevens.
Aye.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Garza. The ayes have it, 7-0. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you for your time, and we will see you all soon. Hopefully, I guess maybe next week, possibly. All right, have a wonderful evening. Thank you all again. I really appreciate you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Take care.